Hey Tara, how's it going, man? Welcome to the Breakthrough Society podcast. Thank you for taking the time to be here.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm so excited, Irvin. This is great.
Yeah, of course. I know we're in different countries and way different time zones, and I know we're all busy in our lives and our businesses, and just so happy that you can make this happen.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's 5 p.m. here, so things are just winding down. So it's a nice time of day for us.
Okay, nice, nice. Yeah, it's 11 a.m. here, so today's just getting started.
Yeah, yeah. I've been through it all already. I'll tell you what, the day did really well. So you've nothing unusual to expect. Trust me.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, cool. So pretty much the first question I always ask my guests is if somebody meets you for the first time and they say, "Hey Tara, what do you do?" Like, how do you explain to them?
So what I do is I help women leave their 9 to 5 to become entrepreneurs. So I help them with their mindset, looking at limiting beliefs, and using the law of attraction and energy to help create successful businesses.
Okay, nice. So you only focus specifically with women.
It's usually women that I attract in my business. Yeah. Um, a lot of people, obviously, I guess it's from my own personal experience and what I went through being a single mom and raising children and wanting to break free from the 9 to grind. So it tends to be women that I work with. Yes, I'm not averse to men. Don't worry. I would work with a man if they were interested.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, it's good because everybody they have that saying, whereas you're not for everybody, right? And
Exactly.
it's good that you focus on your specific target, which is women. I mean, you might be able to help some men, but not as effectively as you will help some women.
Yeah. Yeah, I think because I resonate obviously with things that women have gone through. So my target's more like 35 to 55-year olds. So it's things that they're raising a family, they may be working because they want to support their family. So it's not necessarily that they're doing what they're passionate about. They're just doing what they need to do to get the family supported and go through it that way. So yeah, I love working with women. They're great. They're great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I feel like you can resonate with them because you've been through the same.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and like I've been through. I was scrolling through your social media and I saw that um, you had this post where it said the reasons why you would fail and the reasons why you would succeed, and it's pretty much the same thing.
It is, yeah, it
And
is. The people worry that they're going to fail because they can't do a business because they're too old or they're not experienced enough or they haven't got, the right the business degree or something like that. But there are all the things that you've been through are all the reasons that you're going to succeed because everything
yeah,
that you've been through has given you lessons and it's made you the person that you are. So nothing is a bad experience. It's all a matter of learning and using that as an experience to succeed in your life.
yeah, like I've heard that a couple of times from different people throughout the past few months where they say that your disadvantages are your advantages pretty much.
Yeah.
Whereas like a lot of people think, oh well, I grew up in a certain neighborhood where nobody here succeeds, so I can't do the same thing.
Yeah.
Or I didn't grow up around money, so I can't start a business. And it's like, well, the fact that you grew up around that, gives you more fuel, gives you an advantage, to
Yeah.
to be the one that escaped from all of that and having to be able to the one that succeeds.
Exactly. I mean, if we all had it all hunky dory and fantastic, and our lives were smooth and plain and sailing, and everything was wonderful, what's the point? You've nothing. You don't grow from that kind of behavior, do
Yeah,
you? If you're not growing, you're dead. So everything that you've
sure.
come across and everything you've been through, it's all been growth, and that's what makes you so amazing to be able to do what you want to do because you've got such a passion and the experience and knowledge gained from that. So all the things that you've been through that were bad or good have all given you your advantage over the rest of, for example, the marketplace in business.
Yeah, and I feel that it doesn't matter what, if you were raised in a lower income family, middle class or higher income. I feel that um you can learn, either way, like the low income families, that you grew up around poverty, so you know what you don't want. Middle class, that's probably like the worst place, because it's just comfortable. And
It is.
like the high class is, you might be spoiled. So in every like class, there are disadvantages that you can use to your advantage to just grow. Because like you
Yeah,
said, if you're not growing, you're dying.
exactly. You are. It's the same for flowers. If you don't water a flower, it doesn't grow. It doesn't die. It dies, doesn't it? So, and we're all nature, so it's the same thing for us.
Yeah. So can you talk about your three pillars to business success?
My three pillars to business success. Okay, so I believe that you have to have clarity, focus, and action. So your clarity is looking at your mindset and getting yourself really clear on how you talk to yourself, first of all, because we are pretty hard critics when it comes to us. We tell ourselves that we can't do it because of, or that we're not good enough, or nobody likes us, or lots of different things. And when you're going through business, you have to be able to identify your limiting beliefs and how they stop you from doing things. So, for example, me, if I have a big project I want to do, and I know when I'm procrastinating and I'm putting it off because I'm maybe scared that I can't do it successfully, or there's something that's a little bit difficult and I've got to learn. I'm a procrastinator, so I will clean the house top to bottom instead of doing what I need to do. And we've all got something that we do, and sometimes I'm a procrastinator. I'll find, oh my God, I have to do this course. I have to learn something new, and it's all a tactic to put me off from what I'm doing. So I think you've got to get really clear on your mindset and identifying those things and saying, okay, Tara, now it's time to put the cleaning things down and actually do the work. And then you have to also be clear on what you're passionate about. When you're doing your own business, you have to, it's a long day if you don't enjoy what you're doing. And I think a lot of people believe that, for example, if I'm an accountant now, if I start my own business, I have to be an accountant because that's what I'm trained in. But it's not. Your own business can be something that you're passionate about. It could be restoring antique furniture. It could be teaching children something. It's whatever you're passionate about. So getting really clear about what you want to do in your business. And then your focus is sort of narrowing it down. So the business side of it. So which business model are you going to use? Is it going to be clients one-to-one? Do you want a membership? Do you want groups of people? And also the action is obviously quite an important part, because if you don't take action, then nothing's going to happen. So it's becoming visible and being on social media, putting yourself out there, maybe even going on podcasts or starting your own podcast. So they're all elements that you have to work through to get a business. And I work with my clients for 3 months through that, so that we take them from no idea to ideal business life.
Yeah, that's powerful. And I resonate with the part that you said that you procrastinate, because I'm like that. I know what I need to get done, but I get sidetracked with other things. A message comes in, or the client reaches out or whatever, and
Yeah.
I get sidetracked and go down this separate rabbit hole. And I'm like, oh man, okay, I need to stop this and get back on track.
Yeah.
But there's something that I like on is focus also, is just staying still and just forget about everything else and just focus on the one task that I have to do. And I think that's one big part also
I
on
have to
the
shut
main,
down
like the initial.
emails and social media. If I'm doing something and I have to focus on it, I have to shut them down, because otherwise I'm just like, oh, I had a notification. I wonder what that's all about. And you just have a quick look, don't you? And then you get just like an hour later, you're like, oh my goodness, the whole day is gone already. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm not so much of the part of like that I don't have confidence or anything like that. That's my main part, is that like the lack of focus and staying still, and just keeping, like I try to stay on track with my calendar, but yeah, it's very hard for me to do that. So I'm just trying to get better at it. But that's like the lack of focus is really and procrastination is really, that's the thing that's getting me nowadays.
I put reminders on my phone. So when I wake up first thing in the morning,
Okay.
well, not first thing in the morning, I don't touch my phone for a couple of hours when I wake up because I need my head clear and I meditate or whatever else I'm going to be doing. And then I go through my calendar and I set reminders for everything I've got booked in for the day with like 10 minutes before it starts. So that I know whatever I'm doing, it's going to remind me that I have to be doing something else. Because otherwise I could easily get sidetracked and not get on with what I'm doing. But if I've got my phone on and it's reminding me, Tara, you need to be doing this at this time, then I'm like, okay, yeah. So now I have to move and shift into a different mindset. So that keeps me on track, which is that helps me and it works really well for me. So
Yeah, that's something that I started doing because I really did shut off all notifications, also from my phone, except like except my family, their phone calls and messages, and that's because they they don't call me and message me every day, but they're like the most important people. So
yeah,
I
that's
just I
really cool.
kept yeah I just kept their notifications open, and then on top of me canceling all the notifications, I still silence my phone. So yeah, like I do that, and then now I started to put on the notifications just for the calendar. So it
Yeah.
advises me like, oh, 30 minutes, like in 30 minutes you have a call with Tara, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, you know, I stop doing whatever I'm doing, and I get focused on it. So
Get
that's
yourself into
something
the zone.
that's yeah, yeah. So that's something that I'm trying to get better at every day.
It's a work in
So
progress.
yeah, yeah, small steps daily.
Yeah.
That's one
One step a
percent
day
better each.
makes 30 steps every month. So it's all baby steps, isn't it? That is
Yeah,
business.
yeah.
If you don't take a step, then you've lost a day. So it's just anything. And people can start businesses working while they're still working in their full-time job, if as long as they do something for their business
Oh
every
yeah.
day, then it progresses, doesn't it? It's not a matter of you haven't got time. It's just how much time you think you can dedicate to it and just fill in that time productively.
Yeah, and that's how these big companies start. People do like the founders. They started as a side business
Yeah.
after hours or the weekends. Yeah, and like you said, it's just a matter of dedicating that time to it and forgetting about just scrolling through social media or watching TV or doing anything else that's not gonna
Yeah.
make you move forward in the business.
My biggest distraction is definitely Instagram. I
Yeah.
I get sucked into that place sometimes. It's just, but then you watch a reel and you watch a video and then and yeah, that's my biggest thing. I have to put the Instagram down when I'm busy, definitely.
Yeah, I get that. And especially when I have scheduled in these times where it's like, okay, well now you have to post on your, personal brand, your personal account. I have to post one time on my personal brand and one on my business account. So like it's very easily to post and then just start scrolling, so
Yeah,
I try to just be in and out.
yeah,
It's,
yeah. You have to time yourself, don't you? No, I've got 5 minutes. Off I go.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I see also that the law of uh, the law of attraction. It's like I listened to that podcast that you have of it, and it's very interesting because a lot of people don't realize how true and how powerful that is.
It is,
You,
yeah. I mean, people think the law of attraction is something that they don't know anything about and manifesting, but we've been manifesting every day of our life since we were born, well, since before we were born. There isn't a day that you're not manifesting your reality, but people just say, well, I'm rubbish at manifesting because I asked the universe for $1 million and I didn't get it, but they don't realize that they're manifesting what they're focusing on, and they're focusing quite often on the things that they don't have or don't want. If you ask
Mhm.
somebody, what is it you want out of your life? Chances are that the first things they're going to tell you are things that they don't want anymore. They don't want to be in debt. They don't want to be working where they're working. They don't want to be in the same neighborhood, same relationship. So they're going to tell you the things that they don't want, that they are not happy about. And that shows that they're focusing on those things. And what you're focusing on is what is in your reality. You're attracting into your reality because you're focusing on it. You know, if you're for example, a good exercise to do is, you know, if you look around the room that you're in and you look at everything in the room that's brown, and you can picture everything around you that's brown, and then you close your eyes, and then I ask you to focus on the things that are red in the room, your brain can't do it. It can't picture them because you've just told your brain to focus on brown. So all it can see is brown. And then when you open your eyes again, you're like, oh my God, that's red. Oh my God, that's red as well. And you'd
Yeah.
forgotten about these things. And it's the same with our everyday lives. We're focusing on generally the things that we don't want. So as we're focusing on them, the universe is saying, oh, Irvin really likes that debt. He's talking about it quite a lot. He's thinking about it a lot. Let's give him some more of that. And that's what you're manifesting. So we are manifesting every day, but just we're focusing on the wrong things. So we're manifesting the things that we'd actually want.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true because, you know, you hear a lot of people like complain and they still talk about, you know, bad things that happened yesterday or last week or last month. And it's like they're still talking about it, and you know, then they complain later on because they get more of that bad stuff.
Yeah, because the universe is listening and it's saying, oh, they really like that. They're putting a lot of energy into that, a lot of focus on it. So we'll just give them some more, shall we?
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah, if you ask them, you know, how you were saying, if you ask them what they want out of life, they'll take, you know, some seconds or a minute to think about it. But if you tell them what don't you want out of life, then they'll start naming all these things that are off the top of their head.
Yeah, because we're thinking about it. And, you know, our brain, it's this 2,000-year-old brain. It's prehistoric. And it used to keep us safe. You know, we used to look for the dangers where the saber-toothed tiger was or whatever it is, so that we could avoid those dangers. And that was the power of the brain. It kept us safe. But it's still doing exactly the same thing because it's trained to look for the negative things. So now we don't have, you know, animals chasing us down the street, but we have other things that that we now perceive as dangers, which could be, you know, not being liked by someone or being not being successful or simple things like that, which are not dangers, but the brain has sort of progressed to think that they are a danger to us now. So they try and keep us safe. So, for example, if you're starting your business and you're scared of not being a success, your brain's trying to keep you safe. And it's, you know, saying, oh, you don't want to do that. You don't want to try that. That's not going to be good for you. Stay where you are because you're safe there. And it's something that the brain as a we, for example, it knows, and it doesn't like the unknown because it doesn't know what the outcome's going to be. It doesn't know that if you start your own business that you're going to be successful because you've never done that before. So it's saying, well, don't do it because we don't know what's going to happen and it might not be a good outcome. So it tries to stop you from taking action and doing things that would actually make you feel so much freer, because it's just trying to keep you in a little bubble.
Oh yeah, like that keeps you in your comfort zone, and it keeps you like it makes you not want to take any risk, and you know, without risk you don't get any reward in whatever it is.
Yeah, because each time you take a risk, you know, you're pushing yourself out of that little bubble just to the other side, and then once you get there, the bubble just boom, and it gets bigger. So, you know, that thing that was scary is now in your comfort zone. So you're not scared of it anymore. So then you've got to push a bit more to get outside again, and just another jump. And then it's like it expands again. So the more that you do things that are uncomfortable, the more you grow. You know, when I started doing Instagram, I thought, oh, I'll do videos because videos are not very scary. They're okay. So I did loads of videos, and then somebody was going, do some lives, Tara. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't do lives. They're really scary. Lives are horrifying. And then I was like, no, actually, I've got to do this. I have. So I did lives, and lives are fine for me now. And then it was like, Tara, do reels. And I'm like, oh my God. So then I did reels, and it's just, you just got to keep growing. And it doesn't matter if you make a fool of yourself. It doesn't matter what people say or, you know, think about you. This is all about you and, you know, pushing yourself to grow, because as we said, if you don't grow, you die. You know, you have to keep trying new different things. And, you know, if you make a mistake on a live or something, it's not the end of the world. You know, people are just
Yeah.
going to like, oh my God, they're human. It's fine. You know, we're not, people expect to be perfect. And because they expect to be perfect, they don't want to take the action that's going to, I don't know, trip them up or something.
Yeah, for sure. That's one thing too. Like whenever I started this podcast, and I know you had the same thing too, because I read one of your Instagram posts
Yeah.
when you well, like me, whenever I started, like I don't like the way my voice sounds on recording. Um,
It sounds
so I
weird,
was
doesn't it,
like,
when you
oh
hear it?
man, yeah,
Yeah. I still listen to my podcast and I'm like, oh my God, my voice is really weird. And like other people said, oh, your voice is really soothing. Or they, you know, people have got a different perception of how I sound. But yeah, it is quite difficult to put yourself out there and just leave it for people to absorb by themselves, because you've got no feedback, have you,
yeah,
really? You know, people aren't, like when we're talking, it's different. But when it's just you and people are listening to it by themselves and they're not interacting with you, it can be quite scary because you know, you feel very vulnerable.
yeah, for sure. And I know. Well, I initially started it. I think it was like mid or the summer of last year, 2020.
Mm.
So I put out one episode on, I think it was June, and then one episode on like August or July. So it was like one episode one month, one the other month, and then I went ghost until about November. Um,
I can
so I
imagine.
joined like, yeah, I joined this, but it's because like I didn't have time for it, and I just kept putting it off. I'll get to it later, I get to it later, and it just disappeared. But I got back to it because I got into this like a podcasting group mastermind,
Hmm.
and getting mentored by another guy that's a real good friend of mine now, and he's a real like he already interviewed a whole bunch of celebrities and whatnot, and I had a conversation with him, and I'm like, dude, like this thing that we're doing, because we were on Zoom, and I was like, this that we're doing right here, like having conversation, like I don't like I feel like I'm nervous like to get on live, how you were saying,
Mm.
or camera, like taking a little selfie or something like that, or even my voice, the way that it sounds, like I don't like the way it sounds,
Yeah.
but like I feel like I have to do it for everybody out there that's gonna listen to it eventually. I
Yeah.
know that it's gonna help them, and I know that I'm gonna get better as time goes by. And he said, being in the uncomfortable situation, like that's a good place to be.
It is. I mean, if you're nervous, it means you care. You know,
Yeah.
you want it to, you want to make an impact. You want people to come away from your podcast, for example, saying, oh, well, that was worth listening to. I enjoyed listening to that. It was good. I learned something, or it made me laugh, or whatever it is, or hopefully both, you know, if you're lucky. But it's, you know, I started mine in the middle of lockdown. I think it was 25th of June, I think was my first episode.
Mm.
And I did them every week, apart from I think September I sort of dropped off. But then I just thought, oh, I've got to get on with this, and I love doing it now. It's one of my favorite things, and interviewing people, and now I release them
Yeah, it's
twice a
awesome.
week because I've got so many people that I've interviewed that it's just, I need to get them out there, you know. It's good fun, and you know, you get to meet some amazing people. You know, you're in Texas, I'm on the Isle of Wight, so we're miles away, and we wouldn't have met without podcasting. So it's just like phenomenal stuff.
Yeah, and this is like it is a perfect example of getting out of your comfort zone, and the part that if you get out, you're gonna grow. You meet people, new people, um you learn things from everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. Every guest that comes on has something new that you didn't know, or they explain it in a different way, and you're like, ah, now I get it. It's good.
Yeah. So what are some struggles besides like the not liking, your voice and stuff like that on recording? What are some struggles that you overcame personally, as far as all the content that you're putting out there and all these videos and stuff like that?
It's the biggest one is self-belief. I think it is for a lot of people, isn't it? Whether they think that they have um what people want to hear, whether or not people are interested, or if they're giving the right message. obviously, when you're doing things like podcasting, there's a learning curve for the tech side, especially. It's not mega complicated, but it's something new, so it's not always something that you're used to doing. And then it's, I've sort of come to the stage now where I maybe it's my age, I don't know, maybe it's just I've worked through a lot of my limiting beliefs. Maybe it's a combination of both, but I'm at the stage now, it's just where I put it out because I can, and I'm not scared anymore. If people don't like it, then that is you're not for everybody, and the people that do like it are my people. And if they don't like it, then they don't listen. It's as simple, isn't it? It's like on Facebook and things. If people don't like my posts, then they don't have to read them.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I don't like somebody's post, I just don't read it. I just flick past it. I don't want to, if it's political or controversial or something, and it makes me feel uncomfortable, I don't read it. I don't get all antsy about it and get into an argument about it. If it's not for me, it's not for me, and I just move on. And I think people do the same as well in, when they're following businesses or celebrities or anybody. They have to resonate with your message. And if they don't, then obviously they're not for you, and they remove themselves from your circle. It's like your energetic vibration is your circle, and if people aren't in the same wavelength, then they're not going to connect with you, and that's fine, because you're not here to connect with everybody. You can't connect with everybody because everybody has a different need, and they would need a different message from you all the time.
Yeah, that's something that I had a friend of mine that he has a service company over here in Texas also, and he asked one time, I don't know, well, have you heard of the social media Clubhouse?
I have, yeah, but I'm a Samsung girl, so I can't even get on it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so we were on Clubhouse. It's pretty much like if we were on Zoom, but no video, it's just voice. And we're having a conversation, and he asked on there, he said, how do you guys feel about, him wanting to post things out there, but he didn't know how his employees would take it. And yeah, we pretty much said like the same thing that you were saying right now, which was like if they don't resonate with it, you'll eventually, like, they'll eventually leave, but then you eventually attract the team members that you want, and the team members that resonate with you, like they are the way that you are.
Yeah.
And that's truly the people that you want.
I mean, your energetic vibration, let's say you're a very vibrant person and full of passion and energy, and you've got a high vibrational level. People who come into your sphere, let's say, and they've got a lower vibrational energy, they can't mix with you. I sort of think of like your vibrational energy like a gateway. So if your gates are a different shape, you can't mix. So let's say, for example, you were normally quite a sad person, or a little bit depressed, or very quiet and shy, and you didn't like to be the center of attention, you might have quite a low vibrational energy. And if you start to raise that and you become a different level, then the people that are around you that were the same level as you at the time will start to slowly, disappear, because they don't resonate anymore with you. And that's fine. That's all growth, isn't it? You're changing your level, so you're going to change your reality around you.
Yeah, that's also like changing as you do that, like you change your energy, you go to a different, to the different levels that that you're trying to get to. The circle, the people around you, the friends and family really that are not like you, they're the complete opposite. The people that you grew up around, they start backing away, by themselves, or you just cut them off because they're a negative person. But all these new people at a higher level, probably a much higher level than you, and or at the same level as you, they attract and they come into your circle, and that's just how you level up.
You do, yeah. You get different opportunities at different vibrational levels as well. And things that when you're at a lower vibrational energy, you can't see the things around you, if that makes sense. It's your brain is looking at certain things, and it has all these bits of information coming in, but it can only process like, I don't know, 50,000 bits a second. So all these other thousands that are coming in, if your brain's not used to seeing them, it's not going to show you them. It's going to, oh, I don't know what that is. Let's get rid of that. Tara doesn't know what that is, so we'll ignore that. So you end up seeing the same things all the time. So, you know, if it's like if you go to a car showroom and you've never seen a specific car, it's a brand new car, you've never seen it before. As soon as you see it, your brain registers, oh, that exists. So when you go out, you see them everywhere because your brain's going, oh, I've seen that. I can recognize that now. And it's the same with when you level up. You know, you start to look for different things because things are at a different vibrational energy that are coming into your field, and you can see them because you're vibrating at the same level and you didn't notice them before. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you know, yeah. Whenever you were talking, I was just thinking of the same thing with like your thoughts. That I know they say that your thoughts, what is it, like 90% or something like that? Like they're the same thoughts over and over again every single day.
Dogs?
Do you know about that? No, thoughts.
No, what?
Like,
I don't.
your
Explain to me.
thoughts.
Oh, your thoughts. Sorry, I thought you said dogs.
Yeah.
No,
Your
yeah, your
thoughts.
thoughts are the same. Exactly. You have the same thoughts every single day. That's how, you know, you can drive somewhere on autopilot because you don't need to think about it. Your brain's working it out anyway because it's just automatic. And if you don't change what you're thinking about, then yeah, your thoughts are going to be the same all the time. But when you start to realize that there's something different to look at or something different that you're interested in, then you're going to start attracting those because you're going to start noticing. Well, they always were there, but you just didn't notice them before because you were too busy looking at in one place. It's a bit like taking the glasses off, isn't it? The blinders, so you can start seeing other things.
Yeah, like the what's the racehorse, the blinders that they have.
Yeah, they have. They can only go straight forward. They can't look and be distracted. But once you take them off, you're like, whoa, look at all these other things I hadn't seen before. This is really exciting, and you get to look at other things and follow different paths. And yeah, it's all new, but it's also exciting at the same time.
Yeah, and that's something that I'm trying to also work on, or over time, the past year really. It's like when I got deep into personal development. So every time you're driving in traffic, you're sitting in traffic, and you get mad because somebody cuts you off or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh man, I gotta chill, or I gotta calm down, because it happens all the time. You're driving, like you have to get mad or upset or something. So you got to catch yourself when you're going through these same thoughts. Every time you're doing that same thing, like driving or whatever, you got to catch yourself, and you got to try to shift it. So that's something that I'm trying to do.
If you're getting angry at other people, it doesn't affect them, does it? It only affects you because you're the one that's feeling the anger. And I remember doing an exercise in a self-development type thing, and this guy had us all lined up in chairs, and he gave each person like a card with a reason on it or whatever it was. And there was one person that was cutting into the line of traffic every 2 minutes. And the other people were getting really pissed off about it. They were getting really angry. Oh, this person's cutting me up, and who do they think they are? And they were like really getting angry. And at the end of it, the guy said, "Okay, read what your card said." And it was the fact that this sounds really sad, but one of their friends was in hospital, and it was like the last. It was going to be the last hour of their life type of thing. So they had to get there really quickly. So, if somebody's cutting you up, you don't know why they're doing that. They could be just jackasses and they want to cut the traffic, but it could be a specific reason, and they're desperate to get somewhere. So I like to think that people, if they cut me up, that it's because they have a good reason to do so, not just because they can't bother to queue in the traffic.
Yeah, that's a very good point, because you never know what the other person is going through at any moment.
No. Maybe they really need the toilet. Yeah. I don't know. And they're desperate to get home.
Oh, yeah. For sure. And it's just like you were saying, like you're probably mad at them, speeding or cutting you off because trying to get to the hospital to see their friend that, has 30 minutes to live, and you're over here getting mad at them doing it. But I mean, if you were in the situation, like, let's be real, you'd probably be doing the same thing.
You would. You never know what somebody's going through or what's happening. There could be a reason why they're doing that, and I think you just got to, you're never going to know, so you have to just accept it, don't you? And as long as it doesn't hurt you and it doesn't cause an accident, then you just getting angry is just getting upset for yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, you're just affecting yourself in a bad way, so you have to catch yourself whenever you do these kind of things.
Yeah, like I said to my dad, eating rat poison and expecting the other person to die, it doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, a lot of them, like, they don't even do anything, or they're just, driving normally or something, or whatever it is that, they're doing. It doesn't have to be driving, but you might get angry for a small thing that has nothing to do with anything. And, they don't even know that they're doing anything. They're just, living their life, and you're getting mad for no reason.
Yeah, because it's something that you don't like, but they didn't know that, and they weren't doing it on purpose to hurt you. They're just going about their own thing, aren't they? And so
and that goes back to the law of attraction, where if you keep doing that repeatedly, like, you're gonna get more of it.
Yeah, the more angry you get, the more things are gonna, the more people you're gonna see on the road that are gonna make you angry, or the more people you're gonna meet that are gonna make you angry, because the universe is going, she likes being angry, let's give her some more of that.
Yeah. And and that's something that I was going to point out earlier when we were talking about it, was also that the law of attraction is, the feelings or how you feel, let's say, towards somebody else succeeding or doing something good in their business. If you get jealous, then the universe will say, oh, well, they don't like to see success, or they don't like to see other people winning, so they're not going to win themselves.
Yeah, it's true. It's, what you're focusing on. If you're focusing on somebody else being really successful and you're getting jealous about that, you're subconsciously focusing on or thinking about the fact that you're not successful, that you have a lack of success. So, you're bringing more lack of success into your life because you're thinking, well, I'm not and they are. Instead of, if you're grateful or you celebrate with them their success, then you're more likely to bring success into your life because you're vibrating at a different level.
Yeah, that's true. And that's like everything's just related to that. Like whenever, like how we're talking about with your friends, when you get out of the uncomfortable and you grow into the different level, right? And all these friends, like, they start seeing you and they're like, oh man, like, he's doing things different than he normally does, and they start like feeling that jealousy, or they tell you like, hey man, like, what are you doing? Like, what do you think you are, or whatever? Like, that's them, just them. Yeah.
Who do you think you are? Oh, that's your brain going to shut you down straight away and go, don't do it because it's not good.
Yeah, and that's just them manifesting more of that, like the average comfortable stuff that whatever it is that they don't want.
I remember interviewing a guy once, and he said, the richest place in the world is the graveyard because it's full of untapped potential. So all the unwritten books, all the unsung songs, all the uncreated innovations. Because people go through life just on autopilot all the time, and they do the same things, and they get to the end of it and they're like, I had a dream to do something and I never did it, and now it's like, my last breath, and I'm never going to have the chance. So they took whatever because everyone has this huge potential inside them to do something amazing. You just got to tap into it and decide what that is. But if you never do that, that is such a waste. And just think about all the lives in the world that you're not making an impact in because you just don't want to step out your comfort zone and actually take the chance to do it. But it could be phenomenal, the impact that you have on the world. And that's it's so sad that people don't tap into the potential because they could. They're just scared to do it, and that makes me sad that people go to their grave with what they could have done because they didn't step up and do it, and it's just that's a real shame.
Yeah, everybody has that potential to do something big.
They do, yeah. Yeah, they do. Everyone has something in them. And if they just stopped for a minute, I think like COVID was very good for that, because it's made a lot of people stop and think, is this really what I want to be doing? Because, you know, they've been away from the workplace or whatever. So they've had a change, maybe a relationship. They're in a relationship and they've had a chance to stop and think, is this the right relationship for me? It could be anything, but they've had the chance to think, well, maybe there's more that I could be doing. Maybe I have, you know, maybe I should revisit the dreams that I used to have and do something with that. And I'm like, yes, do it, because it's, you know, you don't want to wait until you can't do it, because you know, it's not just wasting potential for yourself, but it's wasting the impact that somebody on the other side of the world might really, really need that one thing that you can do. And if you never put it out there, they're never going to get it. And that impacts their life as well, not just your own.
Yeah, that's true. You never know who's watching, and you know, somebody watching on the other side, they can literally change their whole life because of something that, you know, you decided to take action on, or something to do, or something like that.
Yeah. And then you're going to make them really happy. And then it's like, it was worth it. It was just like so worth it.
Yeah. And like that exact thing happened yesterday when I've been, since I was saying a little while ago that it was been a year since I got deep into the personal development space. And so that was around the same time that was when I got deep into, you know, working out and you know, doing all these things, you know, to better myself. I started this program called the 75 Hard.
Okay.
So it's like 75 days of 2 workouts per day, gallon of water, taking a progress picture, reading 10 pages of a book, and like no alcohol, you know, follow like a strict diet. So I was posting that throughout the time that I've been doing it. I've been posting it on my stories, and some guy messaged me. Well, I knew he had started it a while back, but he's not really big on Instagram or social media, so I never see him post it anymore until he posted it. I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago that he completed it, and I messaged him, and I was like, hell yeah, man! Like that's really cool. Awesome. Like, you know, much respect, because a lot of people don't even give it a try. They just see the requirements and they're like, oh, that's too much. So for, you know, props to him for even just starting on it. And he's like, yeah, man, like this thing changed my life, and I lost 27 pounds in the 75 days. And he's like, and thanks to you for putting out all your stories, you know, and that's just where I've been seeing it. And I decided to give it a try. And I was like, oh, yeah, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, you inspired somebody. And if you hadn't taken that action and told people about it, then it wouldn't have changed his life too. So it's, that is an amazing feeling. That's the best feeling in the world, isn't it?
Yeah. And I was at the gym whenever I read his reply, and man, that just made my day.
Yeah, I can imagine it did. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, that's just something that I'm going to be, that gives me the motivation and inspiration to just be posting more out there of stuff like that, because, you know, you never know who's going to be watching.
Well, no, you don't. People are always watching. Sometimes they're a little bit scared to speak up. But I think the more you do it, then, you inspire them, or then they connect with you because they think, do you know what, if he can do it or she can do it, then so can I. And, you know, and it's often like, I might post something, and then years later or months later, somebody will say, oh, that post that you did was, you know, it really inspired me or something. And I'm like, oh, that's really sweet. And I'm glad it made an impact, but they didn't say it at the time. They might have said it later. But it's good to know that what you're putting out there is helping people, because that's, you know, I think that's one of the biggest joys, isn't it? Seeing people have or impacting other people's lives. It's like a ripple effect, isn't it? What you're doing, you're the big stone, and then all the ripples that come out from the side it's impacting people. And, you know, you didn't just impact that guy, you impacted his family and his friends, because they've seen a difference in him, and they might take it up, or they're like, oh my God, you're such an inspiration for doing that. And so it's, you know, it's not just one person, you impact the world one person at a time.
Yeah, and you never know who he's going to impact after that. And
Yeah,
somebody else, his family member, his friend, might even start the challenge also, and
yeah.
it just keeps going down the line.
Or it could be that he became a calmer person because of that. So it improved his relationship with the family. You don't know
Mhm.
what kind of things are going to come back from doing these things. It's great. It's always great.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, yeah, as we're running out of time here, I'm gonna ask you one last question, but just please tell the audience where they can find you and everything you're doing.
So you can find me on my website at tarachatzakis.com. I presume you're going to write it because it's a bit of a difficult one to spell.
Yeah, yeah, I'll write it
Um,
down in the show notes.
yeah, thank you. My Instagram is Tara Chatzakis. In fact, everywhere is Tara Chatzakis, so I'm very easy to find. The biggest thing I'm doing at the moment is my Overnight Success Academy, which is using the 3 pillars to success that we just talked about, helping people get through to starting their own business in 3 months. So I'm really excited about that. That's just started. That's up and new. And I also work with people one-to-one clients. So I'm a Robbins Medanis coach as well. So I do life coaching, but mainly do business startup coaching. So yeah, if anybody wants to get in touch, ask me any questions, feel free. As I say, I'm always on Instagram and I love chatting. So as you
Yeah,
can tell.
awesome. Yeah, yeah, awesome. Thank you for that. And yeah, the last question that I have is, what do you consider your breakthrough moment and why?
My breakthrough moment. Um, oh, this might be a long one actually. No, I'll try and keep it short. When I was at my sort of darkest point, let's say, this was over 10 years ago. I was in my marriage, I was miserable, I was going through a bit of a mini breakdown with it all. And I had a hug from the universe. So the universe, the energy in the universe hugged me and it hugged my whole body. And it wasn't just a tightness, it was a feeling of being safe and secure and supported and loved. And I knew in that moment that anything I did in the world, anything I could succeed at. And I was never, ever alone because I was always supported by energies that were around me. And that was like a breakthrough for me to think, I always thought that I was doing it alone and that it was all on me to do it. But the universe made me feel that whatever I did, it would always support me. And if I took one step, it would take me another 3. So that was my big breakthrough. And that set me off on the whole law of attraction and manifestation and that kind of track and brought me to where I am today. And yeah, and it's made me, I'm happy.
That's awesome. So, all personal experience, it came from that.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
Awesome.
And it was, it was something I wasn't expecting. Um, but it definitely changed my life. Definitely.
Awesome. I love that. Cool. So, well, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for inviting me. It was such great. Thank you.
Of course. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Bye.